Hello and welcome to the Awesome 180 channel. I'm Ashdin Doctor, your habit coach, and I'm super excited. Today we're going to be doing some myth busting. We are doing a 2-week journey on fat loss on all my social media, on Instagram, Twitter, on YouTube, on the podcast, everywhere. And I'm very, very excited. And today we're going to be talking about myths around fat loss. You know, when I started my fat loss journey 5 years ago, there were so many myths that I believed, and that led me down the wrong path. So I want to make sure that that doesn't happen to you. So I thought I'd make this video and tell you about it. So the first myth is about exercise. Okay, everyone says that you have to exercise, but the truth is that you cannot outrun or out exercise a bad diet. And that is the truth. Everybody thinks that, if I start exercising for 1 hour in the gym, 2 hours in the gym, I'm going to start burning fat. But then going home and eating all that junk. I'll tell you what used to happen to me. Okay, so I used to go for a walk by the seaside every single day, maybe even a run if I was feeling up for it. And then I would go to a Starbucks, or then I would there was a cafe coffee day there, I remember, and I would order a mocha coffee, that is coffee with chocolate inside, and then add 2 spoons of sugar to it. So it was like me saying, because I'm exercising, I deserve that food. But that's not actually how fat loss works. It's not the exercise that you're putting in that's going to make the change. It's a conjunction of multiple forces, including your diet. So not focusing on your diet and just thinking about exercise is a sure shot way to not lose fat. Myth number 2, fat makes you fat. All right? Fat makes you fat, which is why we have a plethora of fat-free yogurt, fat-free chocolate ice cream, fat-free this, fat-free that. And because there's so much fat-free going along and in the media, we think that the fat that we eat is the fat that exists here on our stomach. That is not true. Okay, the fat that we eat is very different from the fat that is stored in our body. So fat from food is not going to make you fat. You know what? There are some very, very good sources of fat that you must put into your diet. Olive oil, for example. Ghee, if you are not doing a vegan diet. Coconut oil. In fact, I've done an entire video on the good fats that you should be consuming, and I'll make a link somewhere down below in the comment section. So please go check it out. The next myth number 3. The third myth is around genetics. I have the genes of a fat person. And because I have the genes of a fat person, no matter what I try, I will always be fat. It's in my genes. My mother was fat, my father was fat, and therefore I am also fat. Right? How many times have we either made this excuse or heard this excuse? The problem is that it's not that genes are the things that are causing you to be fat or obese. The problem is that it's the habits that were passed on from your parents to you, more than the genes that were passed on from your parents to you that cause you to be fat. See, when you were a kid, and if you never saw anybody exercising, if you never saw anybody taking care of the food that they ate, or watching or thinking about their health, how are you going to have those habits in place? It's going to be a struggle for you to inculcate them, because you believed that what your parents did was the normal. It's the habits, it's the belief system that your parents inculcated in you, that is what you're passing on. And that is what is causing you to put on weight, not your genes. In fact, I did a whole podcast on this, I think last year, on don't blame your genes ever for anything. Because what happens is that when we blame our genes, immediately we feel that it's out of our control. We feel that it's out of our hands, and hence we don't need to work hard. It becomes an excuse. So please, myth number 3, do not ever blame your genes. Myth 4, spot reduction. I have big thighs, I have big stomach, I have fat here, I only want to lose fat here, I only want to lose fat here. It doesn't work like that. Your body is far smarter than any of this. It's not going to just spot reduce. What's going to happen is that your body is going to start using fat from all over. And unfortunately, it's the hard spots, the trouble spots that are the last to go. So It's not about losing your momentum, or it's not about hitting a plateau. It's about the way that our bodies have been designed, and hence, for some men, it's going to be hard to lose that tummy. For women, it's going to be hard to lose their thighs. And that, unfortunately, is a reality across the board. So what you have to do is you have to believe, saying that I am on this journey of fat loss. It's going to take its time. It's going to happen all over my body. And at the end, I will see the result that I want. You have to keep saying that to your mind. If you have a tummy and you start doing abs because you think that spot crunching is going to be that crunches are going to be a thing to help you lose that belly fat, not going to work. If you believe that doing squats is going to help you burn that thigh fat off, not going to work. What does happen is that the body or the muscles around that area start getting more toned, so it starts looking better, but unfortunately the fat loss hasn't taken place as much as you would want. All right, we're down to our last myth that we're busting today. Myth number 5: carbohydrates are the enemy. No, all carbohydrates are not the enemy. Junk carbohydrates, carbohydrates that increase our blood sugar, that are high on the glycemic scale, those are the enemies for fat loss. All your rice, rotis, potatoes, sugars, those are the big enemies for fat loss. Especially if you have no control over the quantity that you're eating, because what happens is that it spikes our blood sugar and then the body saves that extra sugar in the form of fat. But the point here is that not all carbs are bad. Vegetables are carbohydrates, and vegetables are good for you. Vegetables, the more vegetables you eat, will actually help in the fat loss process. So it's not that carbohydrates across the board are bad. Things like cauliflower, cabbage, all the vegetables that we eat are good for us. So please make sure that you're piling on the vegetables on your plate and cutting out the rice, the rotis, and the starchy carbohydrates. A cake is a starchy carbohydrate, right? So make sure you're cutting out those kind of junk carbs. Make sure that you're focusing on the good stuff, vegetables, etc. I've shared 5 myths on fat loss, and I know that these were mistakes that I made when I started, and I want you to make sure that you don't make the same mistakes. As your habit coach, I'm always here looking out for you. Please share this video with friends who are on a fat loss journey that you know will benefit from something like this, that you know have made excuses and some of these excuses to you in the past. If you like this video, please don't forget to hit like, comment, tell me how you're doing, and share the video. There's also a subscribe button. Press that so you know when future videos come out, along with the little bell next to it. I am Ashdin Doctor, your habit coach, and remember, awesome lives start with awesome habits.